started snowing. So I was like, man, I got to do something with this snow. So I think I'm gonna take out the Radrover, this big guy, and yeah, let's go for a ride. All right, so I realized I didn't explain why I got an e-bike in the first place. It all started back in 2017 when I went and saw my cousin that lives in Rome, which was awesome. And she used to have a Vespa. It got stolen, long story short. She doesn't have a Vespa anymore, but she has a scooter. And we were zipping around Rome on this scooter, and it was just the coolest thing. Zipping through traffic, parking wherever we want, and I just freaking loved it. And so I was like, I'm gonna get a scooter or motorcycle back home. And then when I thought about it, it was like, I can't zip through traffic here like I can in Rome. I can't park anywhere on the side of the street like I can in Rome. So it's not gonna be the same thing at all. And then I was like, but wait, an e-bike I can. And a fat tire e-bike's almost like a little mini motorcycle. It's like a little mini scooter. And yeah, so that's kind of how that started. It's awesome to be able to come out here. I think I need different tires for this. These are the stock Kendas. Yeah. I mean, I'm not that great on a bike, but I still think the tires are letting me down. All right, so everything hasn't been perfect with this bike, so I think it'd be good to talk about a couple of things I didn't like. Probably the biggest disappointment for me has been the kickstand. I broke the kickstand after about maybe 500 miles on the bike. I've replaced it. The kickstand itself didn't break. It was just the bolts that hold it to the frame broke. I replaced those. I contacted Rad Power Bikes about it, and they just told me the bolts to go get. I mean, to me, it's kind of a design flaw. I mean, the bike's heavier than normal. It's got a relatively weak kickstand with relatively weak bolts, and now the bolts that I replaced it with are about to break again. So that's been frustrating. I mean, grand scheme of things, pretty minor. My bike is a 2017. It does not have an integrated taillight, so I added my own. It's crappy. The 2019s, I believe, have an integrated tail light, so that's awesome, so check that out. It's like you got this big old battery here. Having to charge something else is to me real frustrating, so that's nice. The headlight, well, this is getting a little worse. The headlight that mine came with was not very good. Again, mine's 2017 model. So I replaced mine with my own light, this guy here, which is a good bit better, and it looks cooler. The newer bikes have a better headlight. My wife has a 2018 step through, and that light is awesome. So they definitely have fixed the light problem on the newer bikes, but mine wasn't great to begin with. I got the fenders. These things are awesome. The only downside I'll say with the fenders is that they do make it harder to find a bike rack that works. So I did find one that works with it. I'll put the link in the description. I can't remember what I think it's a Taurus, or I can't remember. I don't know. I'll put it in there. But these things are heavy, fat tire, and the fact that the fenders you're kind of limited on the bike racks that work. But I've done quite a few miles with quite a few trips with both our e-bikes in the back of the rack that I got, and it's working fine. Oh, one other thing I don't like, the gearing. I can only pedal to 19 miles an hour, so I would ideally have it geared to have like higher speed pedaling capability, because with the pedal assist, I mean, I wouldn't mind being able to pedal up to like 25 or something like that. So the bike can physically go about that fast if you want it to. Yeah, that's about the only thing I don't like about it. I mean, other than that, it's a ton of fun. I mean, like being able to go out today, on a day like today, get out in this stuff and eats it up. It's a blast. I just ate it a minute ago. This ice on the bottom of the snow, I just slid. Yeah, it was soft, no big deal. Some more thoughts on this bike. I've had it for a year and a half now. I will take it to work. I try to do it like once a week or something like that. I don't have the greatest roads to do that, so I'm on the street. And that's one thing I will say about having, one, a fat tire bike. I mean, you know, it's nice to have fenders, but it's also so I can go in work clothes, not have to worry about getting them dirty or getting super sweaty. I mean, I get some exercise. It really just depends on how much I want to push it. What I really like is going up hills, which there's a fair amount here in Greenville. I can kick the motor on with pedal assist and keep going about 20 miles an hour up a hill. So that makes a big difference. Instead of before, I'd slow down about 10 on like my regular bike. And when cars are passing you going 30, and you're going 20, it's not anywhere near as bad. So I do find that's a really big benefit of the e-bike. Just being able to, with the pedal assist or with the throttle, be able to keep up with traffic really helps a lot. It makes me use it a lot more. I mean, I never use my regular bike nearly as much, and this thing's just so much fun to get out on. Now I would go out all the time looking for an excuse to use it. I will say, since I got the boosted board and the one wheel, this bike doesn't get used as much, but when conditions get bad, that's when this thing really shines. It's just like there's basically no conditions that I can't use this bike in, which is awesome. The mud it was great in at the Overland Expo. Here in the snow it's great. Really have enjoyed taking this thing out grocery shopping, having the rack on the back, put saddlebags on there. I mean, all that stuff is super nice. It's just like not using my car. I mean, I know 800 miles is what I've done on this thing since I've had it, which isn't a ton, but it's still 800 miles that I haven't been driving a car, getting around town, and it's just a blast. If you live in a hilly area, definitely these things are great. I love having the fat tire part of it. I mean, that's just been a lot of fun to be able to go out in this stuff, which is a blast. Oh, a few more positive things about this thing. The size and sitting position is awesome. It's not super vertical. That's part of the reason why I like this one versus some of the other ones. If you look at the frame, you're sitting more upright, which is much more comfortable. I've never had a bike like this. I've always had the mountain bike like hunched over style, and this is not like that, which is really nice. The seat is, I mean, you can sit down, you can adjust the seat to a pretty wide range. So like my mom's 5'8", 5'7", something like that. Sorry, Mom, if that's not how I tell you. She fits on it fine. My cousins that are, I think, like probably 5'3" to 5'5", all like it. I mean, like everybody gets on it, just has a blast. It's really fun to ride. So just being able to just have, I mean, guys can get on it, girls can get on it. I mean, it's just super fun. I mean, the way I look at all of these electric toys, transportation means, whatever you want to call them, if it gets you outside and having fun and it makes you more likely to do that, to me, it's totally worth it. I mean, being outside in a day like today, I wouldn't have come out here if it weren't for this bike, and it's awesome. Okay, so a few more details on how this bike actually works. So it has pedal assist, so numbers 1 through 5, I think the current model is still the same. So that's how much, as you're pedaling, the motor's gonna assist you. Or it has a straight up throttle, and so you can just, the throttle lets you use the entire power as you squeeze the trigger, or not the trigger, so as you rotate the throttle, you just get more power. And it's good to note too, as soon as you brake, the motor all stops. So it will lunge a good bit. It's not a torque sensor, it's a cadence sensor. As soon as you start pedaling, like, you know, half a pedal or one full revolution, the motor will kick in. I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm just cruising around, little pedal. Woo, off we go. All right, let me show you the throttle too. All right, so I do have the tires aired down now. I aired them down earlier when it was snowing worse. And so there's a lot of drag from these tires. So the bike's not gonna go quite as fast, and it's gonna use a good bit more battery than if I had the have the tires aired up, or if I was using like just regular street tires, something like that, which I do have a set of street tires I've used a little bit. They're like 3-inch wide instead of 4, and definitely got better range and all that good stuff. People always ask what's the range on these things. It's not super straightforward because it depends on the tire pressure of the tires. It depends on how fast you're going. It depends on the terrain and that kind of stuff. But you know, I have to look it up. It's about a 600 watt-hour battery, I believe, and it's a 750 watt motor. So that means I can't quite run full throttle for an hour. So if I'm going 20 miles an hour and I'm using 750 watts, I can probably go about 15 miles. So that's at like wide open, full throttle, all that stuff. That's about right. I mean, I think normally when I got tires aired down with these hills, I'm getting around 12 miles before the battery's done. Now, if the tires are aired up and I'm using pedal assist and only going, 15 miles an hour or something like that, then I'll probably get over 20 miles. So one other thing too with this thing is it doesn't have regenerative braking. My wife's bike, some of the other bikes do, so that's maybe a downside with these hills. I don't get any extra juice. So. Well, I hope this place is open. Time for some more coffee. Oh, I don't normally take this battery off, but because it's being so cold, I gotta take it off, give it less chance of like freezing up on me while I'm in there. See, it's pretty easy to take off. Coffee? I would love some coffee. You read my mind. Time to get some work done.